Will Ferrell. Have you seen any Will Ferrell movies?
Yeah.
Like, if you know
Wait,
Will Ferrell's comedy,
I oh, holy shit, hold on.
what happened to your cam?
Yeah. Is it good now? No, I had a call from this camera. Yeah, Will Ferrell movie, not recently. No, I haven't. But
Uh,
yeah, it's okay. I would say I don't remember specifically a movie of Will Ferrell that I was like, oh my god, it's so funny. Not like that.
Any Will Ferrell movie, all the comedy, the humor, that is kind of the same. Like Elf, Anchorman, Step Brothers, whatever.
I think I've seen Step Brothers, and it's just one of the movies that you see for the sake of seeing. Like, oh, I got nothing to watch. I guess I'll just put it in the background. And
Yeah, well, okay. I mean, I think I really fucking like Anchorman specifically. I thought the other movies of Will Ferrell, I thought were like, not good enough. It's like, it's stupid, but it's not funny enough. But Anchorman really, like, especially the first movie, is like very stupid, and I still find it very funny.
right, the Anchorman and Zoolander is still funny. They stood the
According
test
to
of.
me and my taste, I don't know, like, and according to your comedy taste, I don't know what new movies or what movies you can watch that you haven't watched already.
Yeah,
Maybe Jurassic Park? Oh, no. Oh, it's the Jumanji. Jumanji. Have you watched the new Jumanji movies?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
like,
that.
did it
like,
got released like last year or this year by any chance, or like
no,
previously?
the first two parts. Like the
Yeah,
way
yeah,
you
I've
opened
seen
up.
that. Yeah, I like those movies. Yeah,
Yeah, so I
I
think
like it.
that's more your kind of humor.
Yeah, I think like it when Kevin Hart, those humors are funny, somewhat.
Yeah. That's more my like Kevin Hart's humor, like
Oh yeah,
what do you
I
call
would.
Ride Along, and 21 Jump Street. That kind.
Yeah,
21 Jump Street
like
wasn't Kevin Hart.
I would even watch a stand up of Kevin Hart any day of the week because
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
shit's
Like hysterical stuff is more
yeah.
suitable.
Okay,
Like Adam Sandler is like, it's over the top, like absurd, like it's like, his kind of comedy is more like a reactive absurdness. Like, it's not like trying to be funny out of nothing, but it is because of something that is funny that he reacts to it, kind of thing. I don't know how to
Yeah.
put it, but Kevin Hart has a similar kind of comedy, which is like he put himself in like funny like positions, and then the way he reacts to it, that's funny. Like, are you fucking saying this shit? You can't make this up.
Yeah, it's like his life experience as if he's telling a story, even though it's fake, but he makes that story real.
And he like exaggerates and like makes a
Yeah.
mole out of makes a mountain out of a molehill kind of way.
Yeah, it's like as stupid as like I remember one joke from Kevin Hart. It's something goes like, so he watched a porn where the guy
Oh, the
spits on
wife.
the girl.
I know which one you're talking
The
about.
guy spits on the girl and the girl likes it. So while he's having sex with his wife, he thinks maybe she'll find it hot. So she spits. He spits on her face, his wife's face,
Right in the forehead.
while fucking, and she just stops and be like, "What the fuck you did?" And he goes like, "In my mind, she was gonna come right away. She was gonna have the orgasm."
Come, I'm coming.
While his girlfriend just stopped fucking and be like, "What the fuck did you do?" And
You
then
just
he
spit
had,
at me?
"Yeah, you spit on me. What the fuck?" His girlfriend goes like, "You can watch porn. I watch porn all the time. I don't bring that shit to our home." And Kevin Hart goes, "You watch porn all the fucking
I
time?"
know that bit.
Yeah. No, it's like relatable, Sunny. Like, yeah, people watch porn all the time, and it's fucking stupid. It's not like I would fucking spit on a girl. It's not that relatable, but it's funny because it's weird.
Yeah,
Relatable, funny.
it's like the shit that we would do and think about, you know,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
like, do they actually feel good? Like, how would it feel to be spitting on them, or do they spit on us? Wait, what? Like
Yeah,
general
how
boy
does that
stuff.
work? Like like they would just put their hand on the clit, and the girl would go, "Oh, I fucking lost it." I'm like, really? That's all it takes? Just a fucking finger? That, like, I don't know.
No.
Like, whoa.
Yeah, no, like
Yeah.
even Hassan Minaj. I don't know if you have seen
Oh
any of
yeah.
that.
No, it's
Like
not
he did
Minhaj.
a.
It's Minhaj.
Are you teaching me a Desi name how to pronounce, you fucking white piece of?
Yes, like how he was telling Ellen DeGeneres. It's
Okay, okay.
Minhaj. Minhaj.
Yes. So,
Minhaj.
so he had this stand up recently, I think, like a few months ago, one or two. That stand up is pretty good as well. Like, if you have time, if you have an hour to kill, I would strongly suggest, because he makes things very serious and then jokes as well, and it's all like sort of life stories. It's like, you went on a trip and you had 5 memorable moments, and that's what you're sharing. Like, that's how it feels like.
Yeah, I know. I've seen Hassan Minaj stuff. Like I used to watch his Netflix show, The
Patria.
Patriot Act. Yeah, I used to like that. Yeah, I mean, I know I like Kevin Hart as well. Like I know that Kevin Hart, Hassan Minaj, those kind of guys are funny as well. But it's like I don't find them as funny as someone like for like stand-up comedians. I think like someone like Dave Chappelle and Louis
Okay.
C.K. I think those guys are the funniest to me because I don't know. I'm more like the obvious or the over exaggerated humor rather than that. I like it when it's like under delivered or like it's under exaggerate. Like, let's say something is big, something like really big and impactful happened, but instead they're gonna deliver it as something like, oh, it's no big deal in a way. I prefer that more than the other way around, where it's like something normal happens and you make something big out of it and
Yeah,
react
but Dave
to it.
Chappelle has a similar tone to it. Like, he tells stories like that as well.
Yeah, he does, but his comedy isn't like reliant on like reacting to it as much. Like Kevin Hart's comedy is like based half on his performance, like his
Yeah.
performative abilities. But whereas Dave Chappelle's one, on the other hand, he doesn't perform. He just spit facts, and he just sometimes he spit nonsense as well. But the times it's funny, and like I like those kinds of comedies where like the reaction and the like performative part of it isn't as exaggerated, isn't as hype. It's rather I like it under delivered. Like if something really stupid happens or funny happens and someone like plays it off as normal and usual, I find that more funny rather than something like, kind of silly happens and someone making a big deal out of it. So that's
Oh,
how I prefer my comedy.
speaking of over exaggeration and normal, I I was looking for a sitcom. I somehow found this sitcom called New Girl. It's the fucking cringiest shit.
Oh, I remember that show. I used
It's
to.
it's so it's I don't know how to put it. Like, I'm like, yeah, there are bits of it funny, but oh my god, it's pain to watch. It's like, one of those, like, if you get kidnapped and they play it, you're like, okay, you can kill me. Like, it's I don't know. Sure, there are fans probably, like, people like that humor. I don't want to sound rude. It's not all bad, but there are some scenes
That's
in it.
is it an old show? Is it still ongoing or?
I think it's over, but the main protagonist, the girl. It's like
Bro, I think my all-time favorite sitcom was Two and a Half Men. I don't know if you guys.
already. I have seen a few episodes of it. I don't know why I dropped it, but I don't think so. Like
I
I
don't
had a
think.
particular reason. I
I
liked it.
Yeah, I don't think it lives up. Like the comedy holds up anymore. But at the time, and it was like 8, 9 years ago. Like I used to watch that show religiously because I thought it was funniest shit. Okay, funniest shit on TV because the humor in it was very adult and very like gross and like very blatant humor. Like so I mean
The divorced brother and the kid and the bachelor, right?
yeah. So there's Charlie Sheen's character who's just a fuck boy, and he doesn't have like any loved one in his life, and suddenly all of a sudden his younger brother, comes to live with him with his kid because he got divorced, and so yeah, like it was funny first time, and I was just like a teenager, and I like watching that adult stuff. I would be like, ha ha, oh, funny. So yeah, I don't think it holds up anymore. But I don't. I've grown out of comedies anyway now. I don't like. I mean, I've grown out of sitcoms. I don't really like to watch sitcoms anyway anymore.
Yeah, I
But
think stand-ups are the norms now. Like if you can find a good stand-up, so that's a good hour, but not a show where every episode they're trying to make you laugh or trying to make a skit. It's like it's just too much.
Yeah, I get what I mean. It has to be like a little bit more natural, like whatever we are doing now.
Yeah.
Like we can talk, and if something funny happens, and then we'll just make it funny or not.
mm. Oh, and
Yeah.
the thing you said about you wanting to watch like friends going on a trip or something and funny stuff happens stuff. Like for me, I don't really watch movies like that, but I just get that out of podcasts because I just watch podcasts all the time. Like if I'm watching it or not, I just like usually if there's one of the new episodes come out of one of my favorite podcasts, I'll keep it running at the same time as doing something else. So like the official podcast from MoistCritical or like Trash Taste podcast or there's another one, The Yard. The Yard is really funny. It's Ludwig's podcast.
All
That
right.
that was really funny because the four guys, especially there's this bald guy named Slime, and he is just this bitter, bitter fucking hater guy. It's really funny. So I just watch podcasts these days. So in that, like they have friends getting along, and like us talking about shit, and like it's funny. And that's how I get my comedy dosage these days, I guess.
Like interestingly enough, I think we had this conversation. I don't know if it was on in a podcast or not, but we were talking about like YouTubers and stuff, and you told me that you watch a lot of MoistCritical, like Charlie, and I told you that for some reason I don't watch him, but even though I like his content, but you said that he has a dry humor, and maybe that's not my taste. So afterwards, I started watching him again. It's like I gave him another chance. I'm like, yeah, he's very well respected in the community of YouTube, and there's no reason for me not to watch him. I'll just watch a few episodes of it, or like videos of him and see what's up. And then I became a fan of him. Like I watched like tons of videos of him, like on a grind. It's like a 4 hour of watching Charlie's reacting shit.
Really?
I'm a chess
Wait,
fan.
what kind of videos did you watch of him? Because he makes like a very
Yeah, like
variety of different content.
reason why I even started watching him is because his moist meter, where
Yeah,
he puts reviews. But then I was like, he did some videos around beef surrounding other YouTubers.
yeah,
So I
he
was
does.
like, let me catch up with that. And then there was like reacting to blah blah blah. He played chess like 2 years or 1 year ago. I'm into chess, so then I started watching that, and then all of a sudden I got a bunch of shit of him recommended. It's like, all right, I'll just keep on watching. And
you
since
like
he
him
has a
now,
plethora of content because he
find it
posts
funny.
like twice or thrice a day, I can't hear shit what you're saying.
I said, so you like him now? You think he's funny?
Yeah, I still find it a bit dry at times, but in certain topics, it's very. Also, another fucking weird thing about him is he has an injury here, and that shit just annoys me. Like, I don't know if it's a pimple or I don't know what that is.
I think
But
it's one of those things when you get the injection at a young age. What is it?
No,
Anti-vaccine?
it's
Or something.
BCG?
no, like
Maybe
I'm pretty sure it's
polio.
something else.
Polio shit or something.
I don't know, but it just annoys me. I'm like, why wouldn't you just like wear a long sleeve?
Isn't it this? Like this?
Yeah, I think it's something like that.
No, it's not like that. It's as if he just look it up and you'll see like he has a mark here, like as if he had an injury.
Bro, it's you want a man to wear a fucking full sleeve shirt to cover up his like little scar? Like, you filthy animal, cover up yourself. How can you show that in front of people?
Yeah, it's just I don't know. Like I don't want to see that. Like
The fuck?
You OCD little bitch. What kind of OCD is that? What the fuck?
Cover up yourself, wench. You
okay, come on. Yeah.
And then
What's
you're
the
fine with like me
difference
showing my
with that?
nipple to you and shit.
No, it's not. Okay, trust me. Just look him up and see his video. You will see how weird it is. It's just right there
Now,
all the time.
now that you're mentioning it, of course we are gonna take like special notice of it.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think I think I
Okay,
know
can you
what he's
can you
talking
show it
about.
on your phone? Like, can you just pick it up?
Yeah, I'll try.
Charlie, like what? Like, he has it on every video.
Oh, the one he has here?
Yeah. Oh, where's my other phone? I can't find it.
It's so unfair that girls can just wear like an oversized hoodie and like leggings, like stockings, and just go out with like boots and shit. And guys have to put on pants and shit.
You can wear inner wears if it's cold outside.
No, I mean like fashion wise.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like they can look good with just one huge ass top. Like you don't even need to wear pants and just look good. Like maybe for my kind of fashion, like alternative fashion, like they wear this huge ass sweater with like boots and like stockings with like collars and stuff like that. They're
No,
good to go.
isn't there this over? Okay, well, I forgot what's it called. Like, isn't there this like jacket sort of thing that runs up until your knees?
Yeah.
Okay, look.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it doesn't look good for a guy.
This.
I can't see shit. Hold on.
This is
Yeah,
the
but
little fucking injury he's talking about. This fucking mosquito
see.
bite.
You are loading on my screen like for the past
okay,
2
just
hours.
send it to the server. Take a screenshot, send it to the server. You have to imagine I'm watching his videos on this big ass TV. That shit pops up a lot.
Why are you
That shit pops up once I'm watching it on my TV. It's really big and it's annoying. It's on my eye level.
you've got issues.
Bruh. Bruh. Like
How does he even notice it? Okay.
how come you didn't notice it?
No.
It's right there every fucking episode. You don't notice?
Look at his fucking beard. That's also there every episode, or his hair. I don't know what you're.
Yeah, he has a very awesome hair though, man. I'm kind of jealous. Like Donkey does too. Like Man, I wish I did have a hair like that.
Just don't cut it.
Yeah, it's so hard because once it grows like this big, so when I can do a man bun, basically, from that point on, I can't. I can't. It's because when I sleep weirdly, and I get like my hair stuck under my neck
You have to
or
suffer for
something.
beauty, man. You have to suffer for beauty. There's something
Yeah.
that you need to sacrifice for, man, bro.
Also, donkey, like I lose tons of hair once my hair grows that big. I
No
just
shit, bro. No shit, bro. Woo!
Yeah, I
Surprise!
get
I didn't know
afraid that
that.
what if I turn out, what if I get bald or
You
something?
know,
I get afraid.
all these years, I thought it was a horse was living inside my room, man.
Bro, you
Thank
have
God
no
for that
idea.
information.
Wait, is it do you really lose more hair or does it seem like more because your hair is
It
longer?
just seems like more because it's long, and then sometimes it's not like one strand; it like falls into like 3 or 4 strands. So it looks
Yeah.
like that's like a whole volume of it, but it's actually
Yeah,
one
no,
strand.
I'll do this, and then I'll look, and there will be like 5 hairs, and I'll be like, I tried to grow you for 5 months probably, and now you're
Bro,
leaving.
this is called normal. Like people lose hair all the time.
I've given up on trying to have long hair. I've just accepted my fate that my hair cannot be done in any other way. I just gotta
No,
keep.
you can have that Jon Snow sort of thing once you grow them like big
No.
enough.
Like an afro. Like an afro.
Not like an afro, but it will have a bit of messiness to it. Like not as straight as yours or mine. He won't have that, but
He's
he
a
will.
broccoli.
Yeah, but he'll still have a nice volume because he has this
Like a hat.
curliness. Yeah, it will. Okay, let's just say you can tell people that you're 6 feet because that will give you enough volume.
The fucking illusion, man.
I
Yeah.
don't. Yeah, I just decided I don't need that. It's too much of a hassle to grow out that long of a hair and maintain and all that
The
shit.
fuck you talking about hassle and like maintenance? Do you think I have any maintenance of mine?
Bro, okay, when we went to Langkawi, you literally got your hair washed for an hour. Okay? And I was
Yeah.
like, I could never do that. Like, wash my
Well,
hair for an hour?
that is because someone is washing my hair. Do you think I spend like a whole hour sitting on a toilet bowl like, oh yeah, massage my neck, baby. Oh yeah, $10 for this shit, bro.
But for ten
Yeah,
dollars though, bro, he spent like $10 on that shit. He got washed for an hour.
yeah, bro. $10 for an hour to get your hair washed. I think that's cheap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Like,
what I'm saying. He just spent $10.
yeah, like
Whereas
I would
you,
have done that,
you
even though
need
I
to
don't have that
spend
much
like
hair. I was like,
$20 for
do
just a
mine.
hair.
Yeah, but the thing is, you wash like majority of the time you wash it alone, so you're just gonna wash it like normal, like 15 minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
well,
mean, I don't know. I feel like that sleeping thing is a very big issue for me because it's just not comfortable.
yeah, and I think my hair looks better when it's shorter anyway, cause my head is big anyway, and when I get big hair and it's fluffy, because yeah, my hair is like afro, so it makes my head look even bigger. So
Yeah, the first time when I saw TK getting out of the cab, I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. Also,
Like,
he has a bit of long neck.
no, he
Like
has a very
weird.
weird proportion.
Yeah, a weirdly long neck.
His, his whole head is like 3/4 of his body size. And then it's like when you look at him, his whole face makes up of this whole entire upper half of his body.
No, he just needs to eat more. He needs to bulk up a bit, and it's gonna be fine. Like probably.
No, I don't think that will help.
I mean, if he becomes a fat ass, then his head will do the nice proportion to his body.
No, he's just a broccoli.
I guess.
oh well. But yeah, I
Can't.
sent the picture in the server. You can see Donkey. It's
Yeah,
like a
donkey,
little
please.
tiny mosquito bite on the like
Where?
It's not as tiny as you're saying it. It's pretty big.
Where?
Oh.
on
Yeah,
Oh, that
On the edge of his arm. Yeah.
is that even a mosquito bite? That looks like a mole.
Yeah, it's something like that. Because he always had that, I think. Like, it's in all of his videos. And this motherfucker can't take his eyes off of that shit.
It's gross. It's
Can you
gross.
imagine, like, Larry is the kind of person who's getting in the midst of, like, getting laid, and then he sees this one strand of hair on a nipple, and then he goes like, he just stares at that nipple for like the whole fucking 45 minutes while fucking. He goes like, fuck that ham. And it's like, why am I feeling this way? Am I getting turned on, or am I actually frustrated at this? Like, that hair is like getting all my attention. Like, you're just staring at it, like that one little minuscule hair, like that on the nipple, and it's like, why is it there? The whole fucking logic of the Big Bang Theory go through his head as he looks at that little hair. It's like, yeah, I
Okay.
can't take it.
He can't
When you
come
edit
because
this,
he's
when
just...
you edit this, you put Charlie's photo somewhere, and because I'm telling you, there will be people who had issue with it. It can't be only me. He gets millions of views.
It is only you. Literally only you. Like, you
Can you imagine like someone were to like rate Larry like, oh, Larry's a 10, but he has a mole on his upper left forehead.
Yeah, that's what I said about Charlie. Now I'm realizing that. Like,
Yes. Yes, you did. Like, this motherfucker is like, can this guy please put on a full sleeve t-shirt?
hey, I like Charlie a lot. Okay, if
It's
anybody's a fan, I like him a lot. It's not an issue. It's just like I would have preferred if he would have had something to cover it.
Any girls who's thinking of like, fucking this guy here. Yeah, you guys gotta check her nipples in beforehand. Like,
And-
you guys gotta cover it up, yeah?
Yeah, I gotta cover it up.
Hey TK, if we meet in Philippines and this Banjo is joining us, please remind me to go and wax my nipple.
This literally, he's gonna be that guy who's like, he can't come because of that one single strand of nipple hair. He's just trying to, like, while the girl is trying to, jump up and down, he's trying to get that one strand from the.
I goes up and down on his face. He's just like, whoa, whoa,
Please let me get it. Let me get it.
whoa. Reaching for the stars. I'm not a homo thing.
No, it's like, what if she has a hole in the wall or a fucking, I don't know. Maybe that will work. I don't think so. I will get turned off.
Larry, I have a mole on my arm here. So if we were to meet, okay, I can imagine the three of us sitting at the breakfast table, just woken up, all groggy and shit. I can feel this immense stare at me for no apparent reason. Like while I'm eating my scrambled eggs. I'm like, yes.
No, Donkey. I'll take
Donkey,
off my jacket.
You have something on your arm.
Can
No,
you
I'll
please
take
cover
off
it
my
up,
jacket,
Donkey?
I'll wrap it around your body and be like, hope you're not cold, honey. And then I'll
Bro,
sit.
we're in fucking Philippines, man. Parapunde.
That way
Wait,
I don't have to see your filthy balls.
Wait,
I'm sorry for my filling mouth.
I also have something here.
Okay,
Hope
can you
that
shut
doesn't-
up now? Like,
Oh.
wow.
Hope I don't have to cover that up, Larry Sama.
Yeah,
Okay,
look.
for you.
Can you see this more? Yeah.
Fuck you guys, okay? You've been roasting me for 5 minutes. Let's move on. Like, oh my.
We can't, Larry. You know why we can't move on? Because of that mole on your left forehead. Can you please cover up that filthy mole?
You know,
Okay,
I'll take it as a.
now we can successfully use MoistCritical to clickbait this video. Okay.
Anyway.
You won't believe what MoistCritical has on his forearm.
Ah, what do you think it is? Find out in the episode.
Yeah, after 50 minutes we start talking about MoistCritical. Yeah, that will keep the retention, right?
Actually, I have no idea who is that, but okay.
Okay.
I mean,
He's a he's a streamer, YouTuber. Yeah,
yeah, I'm
kind of.
pretty sure you've seen something from him. Like he's got shorts that go viral as well. He's got this one meme like, "Oh yeah, baby, that's what I'm talking about.
No,
That's
no, no.
what I'm
Like
here waiting for."
yeah, he does this. Oh, like
Yeah.
something like that.
Long hair guy?
Yeah, the long hair guy. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
literally the
Oh,
screenshot I sent you.
okay, okay.
I mean,
Oh, that
you
one.
have seen probably meme photos of him. Like there was this one photo of him going on Facebook that he is Jesus.
Oh yeah.
Like and wholesome like moms or like senior citizens were like saying thank you Jesus and all that stuff. Please forgive me Jesus. And there were like 500,000 like comments on saying amen and all on his photo thinking he's Jesus.
But yeah, the good thing is you like his content now, right? And
Yeah.
the good thing about him is like you'll never run out of content because he fucking streams every day for hours on Twitch, and he also releases daily uploads on YouTube, like daily, like 10-minute, 12-minute videos about
Yeah.
some topic. And he already has those movie reviews as well. He makes movie, game, and anime reviews as well.
Oh, you know what video got me hooked? So there's this one YouTuber or content creator that I hate. His name is Sneeko. The guy is very fucking weird. I don't like him at all, but he pops up a lot on my. He used to pop up a lot on my
Yeah.
Instagram reels.
Apparently, he jerks off his dog or
No, like the guy does the Andrew Tate thing, like compares women to men and be like, "Oh, women are dumb." So that's his content. And
yeah.
he apparently had a beef with MoistCritical, and
Oh yeah, I
Moist,
remember that.
yeah, and MoistCritical roasted the fuck out of him, and that was such an awesome video. Like, if you haven't seen it, I recommend you watch it because Sneeko tried to say something shitty about
His
MoistCritical's
girlfriend.
girlfriend,
Yeah.
and the clips that MoistCritical brings to roast Sneeko, oh my god. Like that's just epic roasting without even trying.
Sneeko
And then,
has in like Sneako.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Wait, I'll try to find the video and see if I can link it.
Because Charlie is a really good looking dude. He's very buffed. And Sneeko is like, oh, you're not good looking enough. You can't pull a good girl or a hot girl. And MoistCritical just fucking ended his career by beefing. Like there's no comeback for Sneeko after that. It's the end. Like you take the L.
Oh, I found it. Yeah, he tried to say something bad about his girlfriend, like, "Oh, your girlfriend looks bad," or something stupid like that.
Yeah.
And then he came at him and exposed him for being a cuck.
Oh, Sneeko was a cuck?
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
like
Apparently.
he went on this podcast. He went on this podcast and like shared a story about how his girlfriend wanted to. Apparently, they both wanted to experiment swinging, gangbanging, and that stuff. And when he saw his girlfriend taking multiple dicks, he just he just got cucked and couldn't take it anymore. So, and since then, he started hating on women. Since then, he started making those like hating women videos and shit. But yeah, I sent the video in the server. Check it out.
Yeah, I gotta watch it later.
It's definitely worth it for the beef. It's worth it.
But yeah, I like his movie reviews as well. Like I don't always agree with all the reviews, but for the most part, I think his movie reviews are good.
Like that's how I started like watching him because I was like into the beef. Oh, also like Hassan Abi, uh, that guy I didn't like him. Like I've seen a lot of videos of him because he has some interesting takes or interesting opinion, but there is some sort of bias in him. Like he has his mind made up. He's not open minded in some sort of things, and his
Okay,
videos are all clips, so it doesn't translate well
he
because he's
has
obviously talking to the chat, right?
he has a bias, but the thing is, he is a leftist political commentator. Like his bias is communism. That's what he believes in. So of course, it's gonna be like all his takes are gonna be filtered through that lens. It's like it's the same. Like there is no center. There is no centerism in politics. Like
Yeah.
when you see the open-minded people on YouTube talking about politics, you see Ben Shapiro, Jordan Peterson, Joe Rogan. You think these people are open-minded, but that's just how they want to show you. That's how they want to portray it. But actually, the fact is they're very right. Okay, they're very right-leaning, very
Okay, can you explain this right and leftist? Because I'm a noob. I don't understand these things.
well.
So
So the thing, well, right and left. So the right of the politics is conservatism, and left is liberalism. So conservatism is like usually it means keeping things the way they are. The proponents of conservatism are always like, this is how things have been for ages, and this is how it always should be. And nothing should ever be changed because that's how it is. That's basically conservatism. And on the other hand, liberalism is like, well, things have been this way, but it can be made better. Okay, just because they have been happening like that doesn't mean we can't change and we can't like advance as a society or whatever. So and there's obviously like far opposing sides. Like there's far right, there's far left, there's middle right, center right, and all this different like on the spectrum of the left to right idealism. And yeah, the furthest right you can go is probably fascism. Like fascism that happened during World War II. That's probably the furthest extent you can take that conservatism to the point where you go like, yeah, nationalistic pride, German supremacy, wipe out all the, you know, all the other races, uh, and yeah, stuff like that. That is like fascism, which is like the furthest extent of like right-leaning politics, you can say. And on the other hand, left-leaning politics, the furthest extent is usually communism. That's what people say. But communism is like something on its own. Like it's on the left side of politics. Like it wants to do better for workers. It wants to do advancement and doesn't want to keep the way things are. But it's something completely different. It's not
yeah,
only
but
a political point of
communism
view.
has its issue as well, right? Like
Yeah, but the thing is, communism is not just politics. It's also about economics as well. So you see, in the normal age, like I sent you that video, but did I send you that video about like explaining communism for beginners?
I think so. I've seen a video like that. I think you did.
I've sent you that video. So
Yeah,
if you
you
watch
sent
that,
me two links, and yeah, one of them explained communism, I think, or fascism.
it's communism. Like it's like communism for dummies or something. So in
Yeah.
that he explains like how communism works. So it's like it's a political and economical ideology, And if you watch that video, it's in further detail, but like communism has its faults, but like the way currently things are in most countries, it's all based on capitalism. It's all based on getting the maximum profit value out of a business or out of whatever you're doing. It's based on competition. It's based on if you're not good enough or if you don't have the right connections, you can't get that job. You'll be working in this low wage job. It's the whole reason low wage jobs exist in the first place. Because there is a hierarchy of competition and people think these jobs are less valuable and that's why they're low wage and they don't get a lot of benefits. Whereas communism advocates that workers, no matter what work they are doing, they should always have rights. They should always have worker rights. They should always be able to unionize and claim rights and benefits. They should be able to claim for uh, like working hours, like standard working hours, and they should be able to get a healthy wage and all this shit. They shouldn't have to compete, and their work shouldn't be looked down upon, and they shouldn't be just told by the boss or the CEO that this is the way it needs to be done. You either work 12 hours a day or you're fired. I replace you with the next guy. So communism is like an idea for the for the workers. It's for the workers to be able to take their power into their own hands rather than like be subject to the capital owners. It's all about taking the means of production and capital into the hands of the work and give them more freedom and independence. That's the basic idea of communism.
So does communism and capitalism are like the enemies of each other in that sense?
Yeah, it's like opposite because capitalism is like advocates for greed and like the main objective of capitalism is making profit, okay? So how do companies and CEOs maximize their profit? They try to pay their workers less. They try to make them work over hours and pay less and to get every ounce of you know, juice they can get out of their workers for as less pay as they can to in order to maximize their profit. That's the whole idea of capitalism and how that works. Whereas communism, on the other hand, is like the company is not it's not for the objective of the company is not for the capital owners to make a profit. The objective of the company is for all the workers to make a profit. So the capital owner will have his fair share of like whatever the let's say it's more of a like in a I think there's this idea in Islam as well. You know, whatever you make at the end of the year, you know, it's like in Islamic bank we have a bank in our country where the loan isn't based upon the interest every year. It's based upon like a profit of the business you make or something. Whatever profit you make. It's kind of similar. It's like the goal is not to make the most profit for the capital owner. The goal is to make a livable and proper income for all the workers involved in the company. Okay.
Yeah, but wouldn't that create an issue? Because no matter how much money you get, you always want more. And no matter what lifestyle you have, you strive for better. So if you give them the better, they would still be unhappy after 5 years and want more.
Yeah, they would, but they wouldn't be able to get it. Like let's say if you give someone a minimum living wage, right? Like
Yeah.
communism or universal social care also advocates for like every citizen to have like a minimum security, allowance that the government will pay them, actually allowance or whatever, so they can at least live. You know, they don't have to like go into abject poverty, go into homeless or whatever. They can at least food. So imagine if if a person has their basic necessities met, then they can really truly get to do something what they really want to do. or they can really appreciate and have pride in their work rather than be forced to just do menial labor, whatever work they don't want to do, force into doing that just to survive and pay their bills and eat food basically.
Yeah, but wouldn't that create a shortage for jobs like nobody wants to do but has to be done?
Yeah, that's what I thought as well first. But the thing is, when you think more about this idea, the more you make it that any job is available to you. And like, it doesn't mean that anybody can do any job they want. Of course, they'll have to have qualifications, right? If you're qualified enough, you can get into the work. If you're not, then you'll have to get into other work and you'll have to try to, you'll be qualified for those jobs instead. But Um, what was I gonna say? Uh, yeah, but if every job has like job security and every job has like ideal working conditions where you're not like treated as a slave by the capital owner, to work your ass off in Amazon 12 hours a day standing up, with no fucking benefits whatsoever, and where you can be replaced. If you don't do that, if you refuse to work overtime, you can be replaced the next day with.
Wait, TK, your volume is getting a little bit annoying to listen to. It's fluctuating back and forth quite a lot.
Okay, it's his voice. He's been talking for too long, that's why.
Oh.
Yeah, no, but yeah, when you have ideal conditions to work at, and like you've worked at a factory, like if the conditions were more ideal, and uh, like you weren't treated as a slave, and people didn't look down on the job as some menial labor, then more people would be willing to do those kind of jobs, okay? Especially if they're too lazy to graduate or study something and get qualified for something better. And if they don't have any kind of goals or aspirations like that, they would be happy working at a normal job like Amazon or something if it was like normal, humanely treated, and well paying. This
Yeah,
whole idea of competition and like greed, it comes from capitalism, the way that the economic system has been built
so,
throughout the.
but does capitalism falls in the left, right? The leftist.
It's it's just it's an economic system. It's not a political system.
But
Capitalism.
it does affect. It does affect though, because like back in the day, how the things were like there would be lords and noblemen who would have this wealth. But
That's just
after capitalism,
authoritarianism. That's
yeah,
authoritarianism.
but after that change, this actually was the improvement of it. But now we see the
No, no, no.
problem of capitalism.
What you're thinking of is democracy. But capitalism was always there. Capitalism was like the economic system. It was always there, regardless if it's an authoritarian country or a democratic or a whatever political system.
But how do you change a businessman's mindset that he shouldn't only be thinking of profit and should actually take a hinge in his profits to make sure that his workers are fine? How do you make that happen?
Well, you got to start from like that's the whole reform. You have to reform the whole system. Like people, you can't have like people and capital owners thinking that the only way to do business is to make profit, and like if you don't maximize your profit and like utilize your employees in the most brutal way, you can't be competitive, so the whole system needs to be reformed, and there's like small examples of this. Like the Hasanabi does talk about like one of the examples he gave was like this pizza restaurant somewhere in one of the states. I don't remember which one. They tried out like the communist way of working of profits for a few days, and it was based on like the boss won't tell you uh what to do and how many hours to work. It because like at the end of the month, the profits that that branch makes, that pizza shop makes, will be divided amongst the workers and the boss and like all the staff equally, or like there will be some percentage. Like of course the boss will get more of a percentage, but the employees will get some percentage of that work. And so the experiment was like, so you won't get a salary, you will get a percentage of the profit, and that will be your salary. So when workers got incentivized like that, they decided to actually like take it seriously and like talk it out, have meetings, and decide on the weekly schedules and
Yeah,
work
I
positions
tried to do the
and stuff.
same thing with my dad, like back in 2018,
Yeah.
but my dad didn't listen.
Well,
Like, I didn't know the terms, but I had the same thought. Like, what if we give them bonuses on sales? They would end up selling more stuff rather than giving them a salary or an hourly wage. So that's when they would be looking at the clock. But if we give them a bonus or a bunch of bonuses, they would work hard. Like
oh,
for
like
my
commission,
employees,
like
that's the
bonus, commission for each sale they make.
no. Like I what I proposed to my dad was like if we make 10,000 sell, tell them for every 10,000 they're gonna get some money. If they can do it 20,000, they get this amount of money. And if by the end of the week, if you can make let's say 100,000 in sell, then we're gonna give you 1 day off or something like that. So there would be a lot of incentives for each of them catered into selling. Because my question is, I'll take 5% less profit if I have double the amount of sales. I don't have any problem with it.
Yeah.
But for some reason that did not got implemented in our business. But I feel like that's exactly what you're saying, because my logic was the same. Like do more sales and you're gonna like as much as profit I get, you get bonuses on that.
Yeah, it's kind of similar, but I think in this experiment they didn't give them any orders or anything. Like the bosses or the capital owner or the boss worked along with the employees rather than just giving them orders and giving them schedule. So they worked out a plan in meetings. They decided which employee is going to take which day of the week and schedule and work it all out. And then in that way, the workers were happier because they had a say in what they wanted to do and what they got to do in the work, which part of the work they got to do. And they all got like decent working hours. They could work out the times they needed off during the month, uh, and all this stuff. And apparently, by the end of that month, they made profit like they never made before. Okay, like the whole company, the whole shop as a whole turned bigger profit than they did in previous months. And the employees were happier because they got a say in what they got to do. And they felt like part of the team and part of the business, doing something, larger than just having told that, oh, this is your job, just do this and you get the salary at the end of the month. That's
But
it.
how far does this extend in the hierarchy?
That's the thing. It needs to, like, for a proper like communist, like the proper
But
idea.
the thing is, right? The system, the theoretical version of these systems are good, but the thing that fucks it all up is always people's nature, because you know
Exactly.
you can't give people nice things. Like example, like just now I was on the call. Actually, the very same topic, like like you can't give them nice things. Like it's not that we want to treat them like slaves or give them low salary, but the thing is, people generally don't like to work and they always want to earn easy money. So even if you give them that kind of incentive, it's they don't want it because they just want to like breeze through the days, and that's frustrating because this system only works when everybody is strong enough individually, and you know, they can pull their own weight, and not just like breeze through it. So you can't give people nice things. It's not that certain companies doesn't want to give it, but certain aspects of the hierarchy works with this system because they're high enough, they have enough authority to implement a certain factor of the decision. But um, people lower than the management usually are the ones that you can't really give them nice things because not all, but when you do something nice, one very common shit that always happens is people like to abuse the system.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why like yeah, it's fucked up. Like I've seen it like turn the other way around. Like I got my ass handed to me because I was being nice to them.
Yeah.
What do
Yeah.
you think of commission work then? Because like instead of hourly, let's say if you hourly do tattoos for 5 hours, you get $200. But then
Yeah.
if somebody tells you for each tattoo you do perfectly, or for each tattoo the customer gives you a 5-star review, you get some sort of incentive, and how many tattoos you finish in a day, that's how much money you get rather than
Yeah.
hourly.
That's
So
that's
then
different
wouldn't
departments.
no, but
That's
in every scenario that works, like
mm,
uh,
not really
obviously
like
like not human, like yeah sure, now that I'm thinking there are some scenarios that it doesn't work, but especially let's say in sales or where you're directly involved in helping people, or
mm,
you're in contact with the product, you can have those incentives. Like let's say my salary depends on how many pizzas I sell per se, right?
Well,
So
I think the thing you're talking about is like sales, but the
yeah.
thing Monkey is dealing with is more about the manufacturing and production side of.
yeah.
The hierarchy version of things and the system, like how a system generally works. But if you talk about sales, the difference is that hourly usually goes with skill. And like if you want to go by commission, you have to sell your skill. So let's say like sales, you have to have the skill to talk. And then you'll probably earn from there. And like that's why a lot of freelancers they go by commissions, like myself, like artists, like why they go by freelance because they go by skill. Like it doesn't matter how long it take for me to commission this art piece of artwork. It can be 1 hour, but I can charge 500 for that because it took me 10 years to learn the skill. But it doesn't it punishes me if I go by the hour in that way.
Yeah.
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 So yeah, it depends on then in that factor, then the topic of skills comes in. And it's not about work anymore, it's about skills.
Mm.
Well, I think salespeople already make commissions. Like if they're working in sales, they always have that built in, like commissions for bonuses for how many sales you make.
Yeah,
Yeah,
usually
so
sales are all by commission.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I was thinking. Like, if you can implement that sort of thing, like as the amount of work you put in is the amount of money you get, will help most people be work driven. Because the whole reason of when I was working as a man in a factory trying to help with the manufacturing things, my thing was I would go there and 10 minutes into my job, I'll be looking at the clock and hoping, okay, 7 hours and 50 minutes. Because I don't have that incentive to, oh, let me work fast so that I can go home, or if I finish this quickly or anything. I just have to kill time. It doesn't matter if I'm in the toilet and
Yeah,
spending
exactly.
30 minutes.
But the
That's
thing
a
is
problem.
not everybody has the skill to be driven like that.
Yeah, but there needs to be a system that drives people so that not only your work gets better, but also the workers gets paid because they're working hard. Because there
Exactly.
would be one or two people who would be actually working hard, but will never get recognition
So
because
this
working
is
hard doesn't get you shit.
exactly. So this is what I meant by you need to have like skilled individuals for a system to work. If like manufacturing, like if a mix of all, the factory the company needs a foolproof system to enable for the factory to move. So what do they need is like manpowers that they need people to be there, not skills. But whereas
Yeah.
if you go to a company that's more efficient, that hired only skilled people, then that's a different story.
Yeah, but also there's this one thing, like you can teach people stuff, because a lot of the times there would be jobs that you need a higher education to even apply,
Uh,
but there would be a guy applying with an arts degree. So basically, he's a fucking noob. Or he would have, let's say, I have a degree in business, and then I did a boot camp in computer science, and now I'm applying for computer science. So my degree is worthless. Basically, if I'm going to be a programmer, you don't need my business skills that I've accumulated in 4 years of college or university. But that's the criteria they put in, and they stop potential worthy people from even getting into that position because somebody didn't spend 80 grand on studies. So
well,
how's that fair?
well, the thing is, that's the thing. That's the direction like they're looking for. Like, it doesn't make sense for like an artist who sacrificed a lot to be how do I put it? Wait, inside my head, it makes sense, but I need to put it to words. So it's like it doesn't make sense that uh, if you are going for this job but you didn't study for it, like that. It as a company you have to think, and you're not thinking in a sense of like particularly individuals anymore. You're weeding out the factors of what is not. Like I've been hired by a lot of company that requires a lot of like this kind of documents, like certain level of like educational. But in the end, because yeah, like on paper, whatever my educational level is not good. But when they meet me for the interview and they realize that I'm there to learn, then that's where the thing happens. So it really depends. Like usually companies don't give a shit. All they want is someone to know what they're doing. They're not looking to groom people. And I
Yeah.
think that, yeah, I mean that's fair because not everybody is worth the time. Like a lot of companies wasted a lot of time in like grooming people and they leave. So if you were the boss, will you be taking that kind of risk? No. Those that actually, if they put this foolproof system, and then those who actually have what it takes, then they feel that it's worthy for their time to teach, then we're handpicked to teach. Be it whether what educational level they are. And certain things is I think it's understandable why they put a certain amount that need, like, okay, example, like myself, I don't have a good educational level, and if I want to go to some IT job, I need to know at least what the fuck I'm doing, right? Yeah, so I
Yeah.
think that's the basic criteria. Like if you ask me to hire someone to do whatever my work needs, I need someone who knows what they're doing as well. Like at least like know what's going, at least whether if I know this person is teachable or not, rather than no idea at all. I mean, I've wasted like 2 months teaching someone who has no idea what they're doing at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I
Uh,
think that is like the main point of all this filtering. It's to save time, to be more efficient in things. And the thing is, if this company were to give out like so many chances to all these people that has no basic foundational requirements of what the job needs, it's back to the same point as I was just mentioning. You can't give. That's why people can't have nice things, because people will start abusing the system. Yeah. So yeah, it all comes back into a loop. That's why the system's all like that.
yeah, I think like the ideal thing would be like if people didn't abuse, right? But of course,
Yeah.
there's always gonna be people that are gonna abuse them. But I think those people need to be like weeded out, and
Yep.
like during the hiring process, I think like okay, let's say for high cap qualification needed jobs like IT, engineering, doctor, lawyer, whatever, you need a certain level of education and years of training for those jobs, right? Those you cannot teach at all. But let's say like normal labor jobs, like fast food jobs at McDonald's or warehouse jobs at Amazon and those kind of normal jobs that anyone can learn. I think the hiring process for those instead should be not what they know or their education level, but it should be trying to see how much they willing to learn and how much are they willing to put into this work. And you know,
Yeah, but there's not much to learn in those warehouse
no,
jobs.
but
You pack.
it's like they're testing their character rather than testing their qualification. You know, have a system there to somehow see if this guy is going to be one of the guys who are trying to take advantage of the system or he wants to genuinely work and do a good work. So,
They do have a system that's called the management.
well,
Yeah, I think their hiring systems in like big ass warehouses basically they have contacts with a lot of like NGOs or like even organizations where a lot of those organization gets a lot of workers from especially immigration sites.
yeah,
So
I know that.
and
I'm
yeah,
talking about
that's
like
where
in
they
the
hire.
yeah, I know that, but I'm talking about like in the communist way of doing things. If you're
Yeah.
trying to get people who are there to do the job and trying to do, good work for the company instead of like trying to get the easy way out. But it's nice in theory and it's like theoretical, but implementing things like this is always the biggest problem. Always. That's why like it's it's no surprise that people and like societies always fall back into always fall back into these chaotic like things. Like so many coups happen, military coups happen, and power gets taken away from the people into the hands of a authoritarian government or whatever. And it happens for a reason. It's because people that had it too good and they fucked it up. They abused what they had and they're paying for it. It always happens like that. And that's just human nature. People always keep fucking up and keep pay for it, try to get better things and then again loop.
Yeah.
And
What
that's
can be
why like communism has a bad name because of the Soviet Union, right? Because of Soviet Union and Maoism in China. Because those leaders ran as like communist leaders. They ran on the values of communism, but they were also authoritarian dictators. They weren't really communist leaders. They were just using the name communism to like get power, get their hands on power and stuff.
I think in the Hasanabi video of communism, he explained that one government who was actually implementing it and America assassinated him
Yeah, in Cuba, I think.
in Cuba.
In Cuba or some other country in Latin America. But yeah, America did that a lot during the Cold War. They used to just fucking straight up, like when someone was doing too well in communism, they just used to straight up fuck them up. Like the whole Vietnam War. Like, yeah, the Vietnam War is probably the biggest example, but yeah, those examples that are undocumented and go without uh, ever being spoken about, there are a lot of those. The whole shit, everything that's going on in the Middle East right now, all the like chaos, it was like direct results of like US tampering in Middle East politics because they didn't like what was happening. Because they didn't like that they weren't getting the oil money.
Yeah. World is a fucked up place.
Yep, and I think yeah, I think we should end it on that happy note.
Okay.
What world is a fucked up place?
Yeah, happy.
Oh,
Happy in a fucked up place.
uh, you know, what if one day, imagine yourself floating in space, and then you're having all that thoughts, and then the moment you reach a black hole, and all that thoughts cease to exist. Don't you guys find that scary? Like the moment you hit that black hole, all these thoughts just stop. Like there's silence, there's no afterthought, there's no afterlife or anything. You
Are you
just cut
talking
off.
about death?
Yeah, not death, but in general, like existence. Like people talk about afterlife and everything. So I was like, there was this day that I thought like, oh, what if the only reason why we are scared of death and all is because we can think.
Yeah.
But wouldn't it be scarier if the moment you enter this black hole, like you're thinking so much and then it just stops, everything stops, and you just do not exist anymore. Like you're removed from the right to think, to actually see, to think everything. You just cease to exist. I think that thought was a little bit scary to me, to what I feel.
Well, it is a bit scary, but I mean, for me, I think that is what's gonna. I mean, I don't know, but I think that is something that could happen. You know, you could just one day just stop existing altogether, and it is pretty scary. But
Yeah, like
when you think about that, you won't be there anymore. So for me, it's scary now. But at that time, I just won't be here. I'll just not exist.
yeah,
So
that moment, that cut, is that cut, that cut, that it's scary. Like in the past, I wasn't so scared because we believe in afterlife and everything, but this thought, this the actual the actuality of ceasing to exist. There's nothing after that. There's nothing. There's no, you know, you can't even hear people crying for you and shit like that. And that's the scary part. Like you just stop. Like whatever we touch, whatever we felt, everything just doesn't matter anymore. Like, so much. Like I don't know how to put it, but yeah. Okay, let's end it on a good note that the world sucks. Let's go.
Yeah.
it all
Who's
doesn't
that?
matter in the end anyway, because we'll stop existing.
Will stop existing.
Yep.
We'll leave that for another topic. And anyways, Nana White sucks and fuck her.
Okay, we don't want. Anyway, yeah, that's been it for this episode of the Talk Cock podcast. Hope you guys enjoyed, and yeah, that's about it. See ya. Bye-bye.